Hello all, this is coming from the startup lab in Jyväskylä, Pekka Abrahamsson speaking here. And we are doing the bi-weekly demo, as we already started a few weeks ago, on the SEMAT Essence project, Workbench open source project. And here is again with us Arthur Evensen, straight from Finland.
Hi.
Good, Arthur. So go ahead and show and tell what you have been doing past couple weeks.
There's not that much to directly show, since most of the week so far has been focused on the back end and getting the infrastructure set up in terms of having a model for the graphs and edges and nodes and stuff like that.
Can you say something about the technical implementation?
Yeah, I can. Let's see. So the implementation is in Ruby on Rails, since that's the framework I've been using for a couple of other projects. So instead of bothering to learn a new framework, stick with the guns, right? And so far the focus has just been on the graphs themselves and not on the cards. So
And we were cut off, but here we are back on live, so please continue.
yeah, so we have the graphs as a model in the Ruby on Rails schema files and stuff like that. And Ruby on Rails is a pretty standard model view controller system, which is now slightly out of fashion. It had this giant outburst for a couple of years ago, but that's how it is.
Alright, but we can see something here. What do you have here?
So this is the standard just index for a model in the database, so we can show different graphs by just entering them at the moment. So this is an HTML canvas and it draws these nodes. And then I have also made the outline for a sidebar where the different tools for actual drawing will go, which was mentioned on the previous paper prototype, of course. So at the moment we can, of course, make a very new graph here, but since there's no drawing tools, we will then have to enter into the console and do silly stuff like this to make different nodes pop up. And then we have added a child here, so we get this relation, and as you can see there's arbitrary size on the different nodes. Just going to save this graph, and then of course it will be persistent in the database, so that's up and working. There's no sanitation of the input, so at the moment you can absolutely mess stuff up if you mess up the stuff in the console.
Alright, Arthur, thanks. What's happening in the next 2 weeks?
Yeah, I was just about to get into it. There's I have a plan for why these can take arbitrary sizes instead of having a fixed size for them, and that's because I want to be able to automatically make relations between different nodes. Of course you have the child relation, but in the SEMAT language you also have these activity spaces, and I thought it would be pretty intuitive to just have a large activity space node, and then you put other nodes inside that node, and then you see, those things take place in the activity space.
And we are testing also now the Essence kernel language as well.
Yeah.
So we will see what happens with that as well. So we have some students who are actually trying to intuitively describe the way they work, and we will use that as an input for our practice workbench to strive for minimum viable solution that would actually work.
And as part of that, rereading some of the resources on SEMAT Essence, and there's this Jacobson practice library. There's this one.
And now this
you have these practices, right?
goes on commercial side, but here we go.
You have these practices, but these consist of different elements again, which is this kind of small weird aspect of the SEMAT language, because this means there's this recursion if you want to draw a graph, since you could use these as an element in the graph, or you could use these directly. So in this, at least to start with, we'll just skip having those practices, as graphs, because then we will have a recursive graph where you have a subgraph consisting of the same stuff as the surface graph.
Alright, but
Which
we will think about it
Which will
now,
be pretty chaotic, I think.
and we will see how that will come out. Thank you, Arthur, and we'll be back online in 2 weeks' time. Thank you. Bye bye.